and welcome to another session in English language. And today we are going to focus on the following aspects of English. We're going to focus on what you call noun phrase. We're going to focus on noun phrase. And then also we're going to focus on what you call register on health. Register on health. But before all of that, let us quickly review our previous lesson. Welcome back. And like I said, today we are going to focus on noun phrase. Okay? So what is it now? Let's begin with what is a phrase. A phrase is simply an expression without defining verb. Any expression without defining verb is a phrase. Okay? Any expression without defining verb is a phrase. And we have three different kinds of phrases. We have what you call the noun phrase. We have what you call the adjectival phrase. We have what you call the adverbial phrase, and we have what is called the prepositional phrase. Even though we have also what we call the verb phrase, we seldom talk about that. Okay, so we focus on these majorly. So, because of the lesson, you'll get to know more about that. But today, our focus is on noun phrase. What is a noun phrase? Simply put, any expression void of a definite verb whose key word is a noun is a noun phrase. In other words, we are saying a noun phrase is a phrase that has the noun as its head word. So the key word here is always a noun. Okay, so though we might have other elements, okay, which are most times modifiers. Okay, other elements there are what? Modifiers. So, but the key word is always what? A noun. Okay? For instance, the key word here is what? Woman. Anything about fat, anything about with a tiny voice is just the modifier. So, fat and modifier is a modifier, tiny voice is a modifier. They are all talking about the key word here, woman. So, I can do without the word fat and tiny voice. I say the woman took ill shortly after exercise, but you want to know more. So what modifiers actually do is that they give us more information. For instance, here also look at the next sentence. Teacher is the key word, which is the noun there. New English is telling us more about the teacher. Okay, so if we read the teacher called John a lazy student. So even the word lazy here, okay, is a modifier of the noun student. Okay, so examples are inexhaustive. So let's look at the other types of noun phrase. We have what we call gerundial phrase. Gerundial phrase are simply ing words. Okay, ing words. For instance, you can see the government has banned smoking in public. So if I underline this expression, this is an example of a noun phrase. What kind of noun phrase is it? Gerundial phrase. Okay, this is a gerundial phrase. Gerundial phrase. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so we have what we call infinitive phrase. Infinitive phrase simply means that the verb there or the expression there, is going to take the infinitive form. Okay, for instance, it's an offense to smoke in public. Okay, to smoke is infinitive. Okay, has the infinitive verb to smoke. Okay, so it's an offense to smoke in public. So this expression, notice one, there is no finite verb there, and it's also a noun phrase. Okay, so let's look at the functions of a noun phrase. Let's look at the functions of a noun phrase. Number one, it could act as the subject of the verb. Okay, could act as the subject of the verb. For instance, the expression "the young woman in pink gown is watching us." So if I underline this expression, "the young woman in pink gown," okay, it's the subject, okay, it's occupying the position of the subject, and what verb is it modifying? Watching, watching, okay. So if I'm asked, you are going to be asked this time this kind of question under grammatical meaning and grammatical function in comprehension passage. So it is so you say grammatical meaning is noun, phrase. Function, grammatical function is that it is the subject of the watch. Okay. Then we also have the girl bought a big brown bag. So we want to see it as an object of the sentence. Okay. So what the girl buy? Okay, the girl bought a big brown bag. So the big brown bag here is a noun phrase. What is the grammatical function? It is serving as the object of the verb bought. So what here is the verb. So we can also have the noun phrase as the subject word complement. For instance, our principal is a hard-working woman. Our principal is a hard-working woman. A hard-working woman here is what we call subject complement. Remember, a complement tells us more about something. So this expression is telling us more about the principal. Okay. Then we have as an object complement, the famous leader calls himself an evil genius. An evil genius here is what you call object complement. What is it complementing? The pronoun himself. Right? So with this we move on to our vocabulary on health. Our vocabulary on health. So we look at number one. So you don't please, okay, look at the following words. You don't contract a disease, you contract a disease. So to contract a disease simply means to be infected by a disease. So please don't say I contracted HIV, you contracted. Okay, you didn't contact, you contract. Then we also have a syndrome. Syndrome is simply a pattern of illness that go together. Okay, then we also have what you call chronic disease or illness. It simply means that illness is what long term. Okay, it's been occurring over time. Then we also have what we call convalescence period. So convalescence period simply means the resting period after recovery from what an illness. Then we also have transfusion. Transfusion simply means to give blood to somebody in need. Okay, to give blood to somebody in need. Then we have viruses. Okay, and the virus is a minute organism that cannot be seen with the naked eye under the microscope. Then we have contagious diseases. It simply means these are diseases that you get infected by having a contact. So the spread of contagious diseases is by having what a contact with what a patient suffering from the disease. Okay, then if you see somebody is in a coma, it simply means the person is in a state of what? Unconsciousness. Then we have anesthesia. Anesthesia is what the painkiller you administer to somebody you are about to perform surgical operation on so that they don't feel pain. And we have intravenous. Intravenous simply means you are administered maybe an injection or particular medication through your vein. Say it's intravenous. Then if you say somebody is falling into relapse, falling into relapse means to fall back into illness after relapse, after sickness. Sorry, after recovery. Into illness after recovery. Then you have chronic, which means that it is also long lasting. So to come around means to regain or gain consciousness. Okay, right? To come out of a coma, that's what it means to come around. And you have a fracture. Fracture is a broken bone, while a dislocation is just shifting of the bone towards normal position. Okay, and paralysis simply means the part of the body is unable to move. Okay, unable to move a part or some part of the body. But we have sprain, patients, and inpatients, and somebody admitted in the hospital. Okay, so when you admit somebody in the hospital, you say the person is an inpatient. But when a person visits hospital for treatment and returns to his or her house, the person is not an inpatient, the person is an outpatient. Okay, so sometimes some persons are admitted in the hospital and they receive treatment, then they are inpatients. When you just come for diagnosis or treatment and you go return to your home, you are an outpatient. Then you have what you call a general hospital. General hospital is where common ailments are treated. Okay, common ailments, and what are those common ailments? We mentioned them: malaria, we have fever, we have injuries, we have dysentery. Okay, but in a specialist hospital, it's a kind of hospital where special illnesses are treated. For instance, cancer is a special illness. Not everyone has cancer. So people that have cancer don't go to general hospitals, they go to specialist hospitals. HIV/AIDS is another, diabetes is another, that's having to do with the excess sugar in the body. Then you have sickle cell, and then you are also somebody who is a sickle cell patient, okay, or has anemia, okay, which is having to do with abnormality of the red blood cells. Then we have the pediatric hospital. Pediatric is very fun. Is the hospital for children. Okay, we have this affects children. Then we have psychiatric hospital, the hospital for people with mental disorder or illness. Then we have a teaching hospital that embarks basically on various research work. So with this, we've come to the end of today's lesson, and I'm confident that you learned one or two things. To refresh your memory and recall all that was taught in this lesson, I would love and encourage that you take the test that appears on your screen.